Oops. This is my Pentax MX. And I know I said no more cameras. I wrote an article on my website that was just kind of elaborating further on the video I did, the ME Super versus the MX. Check that out up there. Also, it's linked down below. Check the blog post out on my website as well if you're interested. So anyway, as I was writing that, I was doing some fact checking just to see like how much more expensive MXs were than ME Supers. And in the process of doing that, I saw this one, $35. And the next cheapest was significantly more than $35. So in my mind, I was like, well, you know, kind of getting a steal here. So I bought it. Yeah, here we are. It just came in the mail today. And what I'm going to try and do is just reset it because the mirror won't go down. And that's obviously not ideal. Just as I suspected, all it needed was a good flooding of alcohol to work properly. And then we'll blast it with some air to kind of dry it out, because this thing just smells like rubbing alcohol. Now, I'm not saying this is like a fix-all by any stretch of the imagination, but typically what happens is they just sit for a little bit too long, and then they kind of, stuff gets in there, collects. And things don't move as they should. So I'm just massaging that out a little bit. I just did the same thing with the FE2 that I was working on. It was like, it would fire, like the curtain, or the mirror would move, but the curtain just stuck. The shutter would not move at all. And I couldn't figure it out. Even on like the M90 and bulb, which are just speeds that Nikon should always fire at if you have a FE model, because those are the mechanical speeds, the curtain was just locked up. And then I remembered how the copal shutters work, and just the amount of, it's like matting that sits around them, and how it dissolves completely and it gets all gummed up in the shutters. So I just blasted it with a bunch of alcohol and lighter fluid and some air to just kind of clean it out a little bit, and just filth came out from the camera. Like, it was just like I'm trying to think of like a visualization for that, but it looked like a mudslide coming out of this camera, and started working fine. So that's kind of what you need to do sometimes. So anyway, I got this MX off of eBay. I need to like put a blocker on my web browser so I stop going on eBay. But I got this MX off eBay for no money at all. It's missing the plate that sits on the hot shoe right here, which is supposed to hold the tension in, so that way you can put a flash unit on. There is some gunk and grime kind of around the camera. It wasn't working, as I pointed out, but I think it's working now. Little dent there in the bottom, but I did check. The light meter seems to work okay. There's a, what's that? What is this? Trying to figure out if this is a physical thing or a medical thing. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Just unwrapped a rusty mystery around this lens. So we've got like some corrosion buildup, and then give it a good wipe. and rust appears. Fantastic. Good fun. Okay, so overall, I would say this is for a 4 parts camera, it's pretty good. Also, okay, so I was looking at, I got this manual, and first of all, I adore this styling. This is so cool to me. But I was looking at this. I'm a moron. I had no idea. So if you were to, got a lens right here, dirty lens, so bear with me. But if you put this on, I'll set it to 22. Watch. You can't even see the blades in there. It's so gross. Maybe you can see a little bit. Look at that. I had no clue. I don't know how I missed that. So there's a little fun tidbit. You can move this and the blades will close in. The self-timer button, you push that in, you get the depth of field preview. So cool. So anyway, feel kind of like an imbecile for missing that. Genuinely had no clue. But what I want to do today is just kind of clean this a little bit and maybe talk about it some, because I've got big things planned for this. Primarily that I think it might be a little redundant owning this, just given that I have like at least 8 ME Supers. They're not all mine. I'm trying to sell a lot of them, to be fair. But still, I have a good deal of ME Supers. That's kind of my main squeeze, you could say. And as I mentioned previously in the video, I prefer the ME Super to this because I've shot with the ME Super. Primarily, it was kind of one of the first platforms that I really used, and repairing them to me is just incredibly easy. I got a lot of comments talking about how people haven't seen a working ME Super and this, that, and the other, which honestly makes sense because the way that ME Supers are kind of presented in the repair industry, in the little corner of it that I know, not a lot of people buy ME Supers. Jesus Christ. So there's not a lot of value in repairing them, so there's not really much time put into trying to repair them. But I think that they're being overlooked more generally by the consumer, and I think as more of the kind of standard, like beginner cameras become less and less prevalent as people pick up photography, cameras become more and more scarce. Stuff like the ME Super and the MX, stuff like the ME Super and other like kind of B tier cameras will become more and more popular. Honestly, something like the FTB, it's a great camera. It's a great like mechanical camera. This is like, in my mind, this is like a Canon K1000, and I know that's like not a great comparison, but still, it's very simple, and it's got little, I guess this would be more like the Canon K2, which was the sequel to the K1000 that had a self-timer, better meter, all that stuff. All that aside, something like that is not super popular because people would just rather get the AE1 or the A1 or whatever, and I totally get that, but still, it's a great camera. And it's kind of the, oh, I did not notice this dent right there. Look at that, that's gnarly. Oh well. So I picked this up because I want to actually shoot with it before I make any more outlandish claims that this is inferior to the ME Super, because one of the things that I pointed out, I don't like this advance. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's such a like odd complaint. And I have an ME Super right here. Forget to do this sometimes, where I'll fire it on auto with a body cap on, so it'll like go for like a super low exposure. So the difference between the advanced system with the cloth shutter versus the copal shutter, this feels a lot better. It feels more tangible And this one, it's like, it's kind of hard to tell. I'm like, did I even advance it properly at first? Like it doesn't have that same amount of tangible feedback to it. So that's kind of problematic, in my mind at least. But again, this is coming from somebody who repairs these and works on the very minute details of them. So I would say take it with a grain of salt. Another thing I learned while I was working on MXs the other day is that for the longest time, and I did the exact same thing with the FEs, which if I ever get MEs to repair, I will discuss that in greater detail to hopefully save you some time and pain. But I always thought you had to take this off to get the top off, and you don't at all. So my dumb self was like, oh, I love taking the tops off of MXs because they're super easy to repair. The only thing I hate is taking off this. And then I thought about it and I was like, do you really need to? So I didn't take it off and the top came off just fine. So I don't know. The moral of the story is read a repair manual before you just start unscrewing stuff. For the longest time too, I didn't even know repair manuals were like out there. I would just kind of start working at things and would just use what I thought would make sense to try and repair it, with mixed results, you know. And then when I found repair manuals, I was like, oh, that's a game changer. But repair manuals also are not the best thing in the world because they use a very outdated language system. They'll like say, they'll have a reference, like a blown apart chart or whatever. It'll be like, screw A113 needs to be connected to a centric motor part X12. And then you have to go searching through the rest of the manual to try and find the display chart of what X12 stands for. And then you have to find it in a different blown up chart. And it's just a mess. So very, very fun stuff. But anyway, I'll be honest, getting this in the mail today, I remembered that I bought it because I was talking to my buddy about it the day before, but I didn't remember when it was coming in. So this was a very pleasant surprise, and I've gotten a customer's camera in today. And this was a very nice addition because this was something I've been looking forward to getting, and something that I'm honestly impressed with the quality. Like, just with a little bit of cleaning, honestly, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm probably going to load up some film into this and take it out and do another little photo walk with it and just kind of see what the feel is like. For the time being, I am very impressed with this and I'm very happy. The only thing is this definitely needs to get cleaned out in there. Put some more alcohol in there, because alcohol solves all problems. Remember that, kids. I'm kidding, it doesn't. Substances are never the answer. Oh my god. That is just plain stuck. I just want to get this cleaned up and then I will be done recording. If I can just get this to move a little bit more regularly, I'll be a very happy camper. But we shall see. There we go. This is a little better. This is an improvement. As I told you, alcohol solves all of your problems. Overall though, I will say that I'm very pleased with this purchase. I enjoy this system quite a bit, and I'm excited to kind of get some more use out of it. I hope you enjoyed the really quick just walkthrough of the new addition to my ragtag group of cameras that I own. Pentax MX needs a little bit of love, but I'm happy to give it to it. Oh my god. This thing is gonna kill me. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the really quick walkthrough of this Pentax MX that I got, and just kind of the cleaning of it out, I suppose. Yeah, I'm gonna load up with some film and go on a walk here in a minute and make another video. So tune in for that. Make sure you check out the walkthrough video of this. And yeah, if you have any questions, comment down below, let me know. Shoot me an email if you have any cameras or things that you want repaired. Be happy to help. Send me an email, comment below, be happy to help and get back to you as soon as I can. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and catch you on the next one. Just finishing up the edit for the MX walkthrough video that I did. Actually received a comment, and the question was, or the comment was, I should say, could you do a video detailing the repair of the timing gear? Basically, if the mirror stuck up, what was happening with this, could you do a video about that? And I said, already doing it, like it's been done basically. And then I'm watching the video back as I'm editing it, and I realize you can't even see what I'm doing. Totally spaced it. So what I'm going to do here is just show you kind of what I did. And as I said, this is just cleaning it, and this might not be the fix for your particular camera, but it was for this camera. Basically the grease, the stuff that was meant to keep the camera lubricated over a long period of time, has kind of solidified and caused the small timing gears here to kind of stop working and moving as they should, essentially. So that was what I was hitting with the alcohol, was this whole system in here, and then a few drops of oil down in here, right in between those gears. So I will set it to, let's say 1/4 of a second. So you can see just the movement there. Normally it's impeded. This back here is the mirror charging lever. I'm doing it again. This is the mirror charging system right here. This is for the curtain travel, and basically it could be that the curtain is not traveling all the way back, so it's not engaging the mirror lever, which is not dropping the lever down. It could be that the charging lever is bad. Like, it could be any one of these things. And so what I did is essentially just cleaned it out to the point where now it moves freely. And the idea was alcohol to just kind of get the stuff out of there, and then a lot of air to dry out the alcohol. I took the top off of this and kind of cleaned all the contacts underneath the top. Got in here and kind of did a deeper clean on some of the dust that was collecting in there. It's not great still, like I definitely need to put some more work into it, but I think for the time being it'll do. The last thing I wanted to point out was there is a good deal of rust here that I don't think you could see in the video. And basically what it was there was significant amounts of like corrosion of it's like a green mold, and then I rubbed that off, and then there was that. It basically looked like what that looks like down there, and then rub it off, and it was just corroded. Not a huge deal, but just kind of something to be wary of. And I'm very curious, because I have some parts ME Supers, how easy it would be to just kind of swap them, but we shall see. So as I said, that will do it for today. Got my nice 40mm pancake lens there. I'm just gonna have live on here for a while to make this ultra compact deal. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you watching, and catch you on the next one.